Prague attracts more than 8 million tourists a year, and that number is increasing. The city is trying to contain the unruliness of some visitors. Last year, it banned organised pub crawls at night. There's more to the city than its famous beer, some would say. Prague Castle has stood for over a millennium. The Holy Roman Emperor made his palace in the 14th century. Today, it's the residence of the Czech president. Nice place if you can have it. Nearby is Golden Lane, which housed the castle marksmen of the old artists and writers, and have used it as inspiration for centuries. Prague also has an astronomical clock that dates back to 1410, which I've stood in front of, by the way, and was extremely concerned when, at the end of the pandemic, thousands of people were there. František Reismüller is the chief executive of Czech Tourism, joins me now. This city has been the victim of its own success. Over-tourism has in the past been a problem for you. How have you handled it?
Well, we like to call it uneven tourism because, if you walk over the Charles Bridge in February or in November, it's not as full as it might be in June or July. But then again, yes, we need to handle the problem, and there are many ways to do it. It's better destination marketing and management on the one hand, and sometimes even prohibition on the other hand. There's the famous pub crawls, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it did have a reputation of the stag capital at one point. Now, arguably, that's now gone up to Estonia and Latvia and those parts, and I guess you're quite grateful for that.
Yes, we are, definitely. It was harmful to the local communities, and it was harmful to the image of Prague. We call Prague the mother of cities, so we should treat it as mother.
So I have sort of always believed that we missed an opportunity after the pandemic to deal with over-tourism or uneven tourism, that we were so grateful afterwards just to get numbers back that we didn't put in place strategies that only now you're having to deal with.
Well, yes, but actually we did put in place some strategies, and for Czech tourism we started promoting other regions more efficiently. We started mentioning different topics, something that maybe foreign people don't know about Czechia that well.
Do you favour dramatic, I mean, obviously you've got the pub crawl ban, but do you favour, as a general principle, a ticketing system, a licensing system, a sort of, because they sort of don't really work, they harm those who can least afford it, don't they? There'll always be the wealthy who can always afford to come and pay it.
Well, this depends on the region, actually, on the destination. There are some places, even in Prague, where you can actually implement ticketing system, and it will be helpful. But you can't do it on a Charles Bridge.
Where's your growth going to come from? In one sense, you're going to tell me everywhere. Asia wants to come here, Australasia, Latin America. But where are you targeting growth?
Well, we try to diversify because COVID taught us that much, that we can't rely on just a few markets. But, we have visitors, of course, from Europe and from the neighboring countries. Those are the biggest markets, of course. But we are looking towards Asia, definitely, with great hopes. Those numbers are not back yet, but they are growing rapidly. For example, China, that was one of the winners of last year's races. So.
These delicious, what are they called? How do you have one?
Kolache.
Kolache.
Or pasta.
You're definitely very wise. More for me later.
Yes.
Now, they have a saying here, there's no kolache if you don't work.
Exactly, that's the Czech saying.
Give it me in Czech.
Bez práce nejsou koláče.
Well, you're not having any anyway, because I'm keeping them. But they're everywhere, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are famous for breakfast or snack, or even for weddings. You give it to the wedding guests, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Why wedding? Well, there we go. I suppose it's a good tradition.
It means money,
It means money?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Money. I'll keep them over here. May I thank you, all your colleagues, everybody here who have been so hospitable to us and who have made us so very grateful. Thank you, sir. And no kolache if you don't work. So I'll keep them over there. I'm grateful. Thank you.